Hello all, welcome to SAP BTP online session.
Let me so that like people do not get confused what we have done till now. Okay, so let me draw a little bit. Okay, okay. So what we have till now, we have something called global account. Okay, so you can create this using your personal or corporate email ID. Okay, let me minimize this a little bit. And it is global account. Basically, it, like I mentioned, it represent customer for billing purpose. Okay, then again you have one global account have something called subaccount. Okay, okay, one global account have subaccount. What it represent? It represent LOB's line of business. Okay, this is what I have explained you. And let's copy this. If I go again here, then inside, so this is what? This is something called as space. Okay, so it can be like dev, QA, and prod. Okay, so let me go to insert shapes, and yeah. Okay, so this is what basically these three things represent. These are the three terms which is very important. Okay, which you need to understand also. Let me write it down. So one global account can have, so global account and sub account, they can have one-to-n relationship. Okay, I mean one global account can have n number of sub account, and also the same is the case with sub account and space. So this is guys certification questions. If you go for SAP BTP extension shoot certification, this is the question which will definitely receive. And this is what I have tried to explain here actually. Okay, your global account can have n number of directory. Now your directory can have n number of sub account, and then your sub account can have n number of spaces, or we also call them environment. Okay, so both are the same thing. Okay, let's not confuse this between space and also called, we can also call them also called environment. Okay, any confusion in this guys? Any confusion so far in this?
So Deepak, in your other slide, you had mentioned 1:3 for space to environment.
So basically 1:3, what I've mentioned is like 3 is like, why 3 is mentioned, because generally we create a space based on different environment means I can create 3 space. One is for development, one is for quality, and another one is for production. And you can see, yeah, dev space is there. Okay, so once like you complete with your development, then definitely you want to push your entire code in QA, and then from there you want to push your code into production. So what you'll do, you'll create another space, you can say it QA, so that your entire clean code is present in the QA environment. So that is what it is representing. Normally we have 3, but definitely you can create more than that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, hope this is clear guys. So let me quickly revise so that you should not get confused. So like this is what I initially told you. We have 3 type of offering in our software industry: software as a service, platform as a service, infra as a service. Okay, BTP is what? BTP is platform as a service. okay? Because all this infrastructure is managed by the infra providers, that is AWS, Amazon, and AWS, GCP, and Google Cloud, okay? Then we talked about the microservices, what microservices is all about. So it is new way of creating and developing applications so that we can segregate our entire application into small pieces. Then we talked about what are the different difference between cloud and on-premise system, okay? And then we understand about what BTP is all about, what are the capabilities of BTP, okay? And then we see what is the main use of BTP. It has basically three pillars: integration, extension, and innovation. And then we understand about the different runtime, the different runtime which is available in our BTP environment, okay? And then we saw there are like 4 runtime, and then after that we discussed about the Cloud Foundry. What is Cloud Foundry? It's an open source, it's a pivotal product open source which SAP has adopted, and on top they added their own flavors. So we talked about the history of Cloud Foundry and why Cloud Foundry. We talked about why we need Cloud Foundry because of like these 3 reasons. And then again we talked about like what our global account, what is directory, what is sub account, what is entitlement, what is quota. The CF CLI link, guys. Okay. So yeah. Okay, guys. So let me go ahead. So okay, so Git, we might be needing Git also. So I'll explain what it is all about. First, understand this. So we need this tool, Cloud Foundry CLI, to deploy our application to communicate with Cloud Foundry environment. Okay. Now installing, you can v cf-v, and you can check whether the Cloud Foundry version is installed or not. Okay. After that, what you can do is just like click on login, CF login. It will ask for your user email and password, and it will authenticate you the way it has authenticated me. So you can see I am authenticated. I targeted. It is also showing me targeted org. Okay, you can see it is also showing me targeted org. Let's go back to my system, and you can see this is the org. Okay, this is org it is talking about, and inside this org, it is targeting which space? It is targeting dev space. So suppose if I have like QA and prod space, so here I'll get 3 options. One is dev, second is QA, and then prod. Out of these 3 options, I can choose which option I want to target. Okay. Now, guys, understand. Just okay. After this, what I'll do, I'll deploy one simple UI5 application. Okay, one simple. It doesn't matter what application is it? Okay, so I have this application. Let me copy this path. What I can do, CD. Okay, I pasted this path. Okay. API endpoint. Okay, no problem. Let me do this. Dot slash. Or okay. So let me. So CF API endpoint is basically the command to set API endpoint is CF API, and then you need to go to your cockpit. Go to your cockpit. Go to your this trial account. Okay. Go to this your sub account. Basically BTP dev. And the moment you will go here, once you come down, you can see Cloud Foundry environment. Inside there, you have something called API endpoint. So it is same. It is same for a region. If you have created in US, so that would be same. If you have created in Europe, in Frankfurt, Europe region, I think that is not available now. So you will get something kind EU10. Copy this, paste this. Sorry, I have not copied it. Copy this and just paste this. Click enter, and it will say setting API endpoint to this API endpoint this. Okay. Now it is showing me login. So I'll do CF login SSO. You guys can simply log in CF because I have default identity provider. You can only do CF login. Okay. So once I'll do CF SSO, it will generate a passcode in this. So maybe I can go here. I can go click on paste. Okay. So it will generate a passcode that I need to enter. sign in with alternative identity provider. I don't want to use default. Okay, so this is the passcode I get, INMO. Let me write it down. INMO XR1 XR1 IIT and click enter. So it is authenticating. Okay, it has authenticated me. Now see what it is targeting. It is targeting my space and it is targeting my org. Okay, it is giving the user is this, org is this, space is this. So I am incorrect. I am in correct space where I want to deploy my application. Okay, now let's deploy our application. So let's do CD. So see, there are two important things, guys. Now, okay. I think we already have it. No, leave it, no problem. Let me go to export. So we have something called Manifest.yaml. Okay. So it is also called as deployment descriptor. It is also called as deployment descriptor file. It contains the information about the different services you have used in your application, and it is used for deploying the application in SAP Cloud Foundry. Okay, let me pull this little bit. Okay, now in the same way, so we have something called MTA.yaml. Okay, so just remember these two files, guys. MTA.yaml is, it is also the same thing. It is also called as deployment descriptor and is used to deploy application on CF. The MTA is just the updated version of manifest.yaml file. Okay, so they both are same, but it is just the main difference is that MTA is like little bit more clear and updated. And also, suppose if you are working with Java projects. So in Java projects, before pushing your application, you have to build it. Okay, not in Java, in other framework also. Even if you are working with in Node.js technology, Node.js framework, Python, Go, Ruby, or anything, before pushing your application, you have to build it. Okay, so Manifest YAML, what it does, it also contains build information of your application. Okay, so whenever you see any application, first of all, you have to check it out whether it contain MTA file or manifest file or not. If it did contain, then only you'll be able to deploy it. Otherwise, it is not possible to deploy application on Cloud Foundry. So what I'll do, I'll check here. Okay, where is my manifest file? So here I have manifest.yaml file. So it has a minimum configuration. Let me open this, what it has. Okay, let me minimize this. Not able to minimize, why? Yeah, so let me take this one. So what it has, let me show you. So it has nothing. You can see what it has. It has something called name. This is the name of application. And it has something called Buildpack. Okay, this is the Buildpack which my application is using. Now guys, what is Buildpack? Okay, let's talk about Buildpack. Okay, so Buildpack are the, I can say, are the engine or I can say are the engine on which your application runs. Okay. So if we talk about example of Java, so Java runs Java to run a Java program, we need something called JRE, Java Runtime Engine, right? Right? To run Java program, we need JRE. Okay. So in the same way, to run different application which is built on different technology, we need Buildpacks. Okay. We need Buildpack, and this Buildpack needs to be defined here. Okay, so that is a simple minimum configuration. Obviously it can go for like 100, 250, 300 lines, but this is the minimum configuration we need to deploy our application. Go back here and let's go to space. Okay, let's go to space and let's go to dev, and guys now see 250.25 memory has been occupied. Okay, this is the configuration which I have given. Memory, kindly consume 256 MB of memory. Let's go inside this. Let's go inside this, and inside on the application, you can see my application is successfully deployed. Can you see? The application is deployed here. Just click on this, go inside. You can see a specific route has been given to my application. It is telling me further information. What build pack I'm using? I'm using static build pack. Okay, quota information. So memory limit is this much. Memory quota I have assigned. Obviously, I can like manage memory itself, how much I want to give to my application. Let's click on this. Let's go to our application. Currently, this application is not secure. Anyone can access it. Anybody can access it on this planet actually. Okay, let me copy this and let me paste the same thing on the chat. Okay, try accessing this, guys. You can access this too because it does not have any security, it does not have any roles or anything. So, okay, so this is open to all. This is the way you can deploy your application. Okay, now anybody on this planet can access this particular URL. Okay, now guys, another thing, maybe I'll show you another thing. Let me so I have another application. Okay, so that is now currently this application is built on different technology. It is built on Spring Boot. Okay, so Spring Boot is just the updated basically it is the part of Java, but it is more sophisticated in nature. Okay, let me copy that. Okay, so here we also have something called Manifest.yaml file. Okay, if I'll open this configuration of this Manifest.yaml file, so let's go to this, copy this. So again, it has something called name, memory, 1 gigs of memory. Okay, and then you can see there is some path. Okay, so see, I have not given Buildpack here. Okay, I have not given Buildpack here, but you see now what happened. Okay, let me copy this. Let me copy this. Yeah, and CD. I'll go inside this. Okay. So before pushing, I'll just simply what I'll do, I'll build my application. Okay. So whenever you'll deploy your application, Java application especially, so there is something called some build operation that you need to perform. Okay. So let me go to CD dot sorry, CD. We have something called Gradlu. Let me see if this is there. Okay, we have this. We are inside the Spring Music. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I can say, yeah. Okay, so we have something called Gradlu, and I can say clean assemble. Okay, so it is just I'm building my basically I'm building my application. Okay, that's it. Okay, fine, it has built, no problem. Okay, it is still working on it. It is doing something. Let it do. It will take few minutes. Okay. So the main idea I'll show you, like how, see, I have not given the build pack, but how Cloud Foundry is recognizing that, boss, this is the Spring Boot app, or this is the Node app, or this is the Java app, or what build pack I have to use. Okay. So Cloud Foundry is so smart that it automatically detects what kind of application you have built. And this is the whole purpose of, like, when we start learning CAPM. So the whole purpose of learning CAPM is doing the development in agnostic way. Agnostic means you can use languages framework of your choice, and your basically your application is not tightly coupled with, like, coupled with the database. Suppose currently I have developed an application which is based on Python. Okay. And maybe tomorrow I want to change the database to HANA or SQLite. So there is only simple one command that you need to run, and Cloud Foundry will do all the changes for you. And if you do this in, like, in your current environment, it's like, suppose you have built something on HANA, and suppose you have built something on any ECC, and then once you migrate it to HANA, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of planning to do it, right? But that is not the case in Cloud Foundry. Okay, so I think we have some questions. Let me see. All runtime environment are available by default. Yes. Yes. All runtime environment, yes, they are available by default. Once you create, you can see your Cloud Foundry. So you can see here something called, if I'll go here, it will be available, but you need to enable it also. So if I'll go here, let me go here. Okay, let me go to this. Let me again go to this, sorry. So if you see Cloud Foundry is enabled, obviously you can disable this. And you can see Kyma, it is not enabled now. The moment you click on enable Kyma, you can use Kyma environment as well. Okay. Now, so this has been like build. The build is success. And again, I have to say what? CF push. And I can provide app name to my app. I can say my Java app. Okay. Let's click enter. Okay, guys. Meanwhile, we'll understand what is going on. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll try to understand what is going on under the hood. Okay. So the moment you do CF push, okay, the moment you do CF push, the command line interface will check for the Manifest.yaml file or MTA.yaml file. Okay, the CLI will check your local folder, and it will check for what? It will check for Manifest.yaml file. Then what it will do? It will read all the configuration from your Manifest.yaml file. Okay, and then if you are already logged in, then it will like send signal to Cloud Connector. There is something called Cloud Controller, not Cloud Connector. There is something called Cloud Controller. So Cloud Controller is what? Basically, it is listening to all the requests which is coming for deployment, and it stores them. Okay, and it stores them until someone comes and picks it up. So what Cloud Controller will do? It will listen. It will listen to your CLI, and it will receive the request, and what it will do? It will store all the details inside Cloud Connector. After that, what happens? There is something called Diago core. This is what I'm talking about, guys. There is something called Diago core. Diago core is what? Diago core is the engine of Cloud Foundry. This is where internal process is happening. Okay, so guys, this is something which you will not be able to see. This is something which is going on under the hood. The moment I deploy right application, what's going on? This is what I'm telling you. Okay, this is like something which you'll not be able to see. You just have to visualize it. Okay, so Diago core is what? There is something called as engine of Cloud Foundry. Okay, now what this Diago core does, basically, inside this Diago core, we have something called Auctioneer. Auctioneer is the brain of Cloud Foundry. Okay, what it does, it queues all the requests come from deployment. Whatever request will come for the deployment, it queues all them, Okay, and then it will check for the suitable build pack if not provided. If you have provided specific build pack, then it's good. If you have not provided, then it will check for the suitable build pack. What is the suitable build pack to run this particular application? Okay, and then what it'll do, this auctioneer has like thousands of cells. Okay, so this is the right time actually to answer your question. I think one person has asked me what is cell, right? So I just parked that question, so I don't remember exactly who has asked. So this is the right time, guys. I'll explain you what cell is all about. So what happens is like the moment these cells are the smallest unit, okay, which is available in your Diago core, or I can say in Auctioneer. These cells are responsible for starting your application basically. Okay, so this is where actual execution happens. So cells have something, again, cells have something called garden. Inside garden we have the uh, execution of our application. Okay, these garden have different containers. Okay, containers means it has some containers of different languages, like some containers of Ruby, some container of Python, some containers of Java. Okay, so basically these containers can run your languages, which is built on different framework. Okay, then what happens? So in the same way we have like thousands of cells. So suppose in a moment if one cell crashes, then what happened? The same time, the same thing, the other cells up. I mean, basically what it'll do, it will start its immune system. It will keep on generating more cells, and the cells which are blank, they are going to pick up the crash cells and start it again. So this is what I was like telling you about basically this point. Self-healing container management system. Okay, this is how it works. You have different self which can self-heal them. Okay, if one cell crashes, then other will come and pick up the job of other cell. Basically this is the same thing which happens in your, even if you talk about on-premise system or in ABAP 3-layer architecture, we have something called application layer. Okay, so in application layer this is what happens. We have something called kernels, and then we have something called I don't remember exactly, but the same process happens there inside the system also. Okay, and then once basically once the cells basically picks up the application, it initialize it and it start activating the application. Okay, so this is what going on under the hood. Okay, whenever we do a CF push, this is what something Cloud Foundry does. Okay, now let's go back here, and okay, I think our application is deployed. Let's go back to space. Okay, let's go back to space. Let's go to dev, and guys, you can see my memory has been consumed. My Java app has been deployed. Let's click on my Java app. Okay, and guys, now see Buildpack, Java Buildpack. I have never mentioned in my manifest file that I'm using Java Buildpack. Okay, I have never mentioned. But Cloud Foundry is so smart that it automatically depicts that, boss, this is the Java application and I have to use this Buildpack. Okay, and the moment I click this, it will open my application. Now, another question: how I can know how I know what are the build packs that are provided by Cloud Foundry? Okay, what are the build packs? So you can see like some application. I don't know even what this application does. I have just simply pick it up from some Git repository. Okay, even I don't know what it does, to be honest. I just simply pick it and deploy it. Okay, so yeah, what are the what are the build pack that Cloud Foundry supports? To do this, just to build packs. Okay, let me zoom it. Yeah, and now guys, you can see these are the different build pack which is supported by Cloud Foundry. Okay, so we have a static file, we have Java, Ruby, .NET, Node, Go, Python, PHP, Nginx, R, SAP Java, Java, Buildpack 145, Node.js, Buildpack. So these are the build pack which has been supported by Cloud Foundry environment. Okay, If you build any application which is based on this build pack, it will definitely run. Even if it is not this build pack, you can specify the build pack and it will work for you. Okay, so this is how you check it. And also now if you want to check, so everything can be managed from CMD itself. If you want to check how many apps are there in my Cloud Foundry, so the command for it, CF apps. Okay, let's do this. What it will do, so getting apps in org. Okay, so now it picks all my 2 app. Okay, so I think we specify the build pack means. So see, let me, yeah, specify the build pack. Okay, see, build pack means basically it's like I have specifying. Basically, build pack is like the engine. It's like the engine, so that it support your application. Like I have mentioned in the case of Java, you can only run Java program once you have GRE installed in your system, because this is the engine on which your Java program runs. Build pack specifying means I have told you about the manifest configuration. Okay, you can specify here also. Suppose I have built this application which is on based on what, UI5. So UI5 is what? It is a static file, it's HTML5. So I have specified, boss, use this static file build pack. Okay, the Cloud Foundry itself detect, like in this case. In this case, I have not specified. Okay, in my second application, if I'll go to this Manifest.yaml, I can see, you can see there is nothing. I have not specified build pack here, right? Java is not specified, but it detects based on the language which I have written. It detects what is the build pack I have to use. Okay. Okay, so you have installed CF CLI, but when you run the command, you are getting this. Okay, did you install it the right folder? Can you see this command? Something of this kind. This, if I'll open file location, so you can see it is installed in my program files, Cloud Foundry. If I can go to Cloud Foundry and I can see, so you can see something of this kind. Or did you run this? Finally, I mean, after installing, did you run CF executable file? Try running this file, guys. Hope you have a good break. So, okay, that's good. Till now we are good, guys. Anybody have any further question they wanted to ask, or any confusion till now what we have covered? We need some repository. Okay, let's call it a repository. Okay, so repositories was basically, it is used to store your project. This is the main use. Obviously, it is much more than that. It is not just used to store your project. Store your project used to manage, I can say, manage, secure, and store your project. Okay, so in a same way, and okay, so repository, it is used to manage, secure, and store your project. Also, you can give necessary authorization to persons, to people who can view and edit your code. Okay, so the whole point is basically it's a repository where developers collaborate and do their development. Okay, normally in on-premise system, what happens, we do not have like any kind of a repository, right? Like if you work on a BAP, normally what we do, we simply like, we have like sandbox dev QA environment. We push our all changes in a transport request, right? We lock our all changes in transport request, and we move that TR from dev to QA and then finally to prod environment. But In UI world, basically in web development world, what happens? We have concept of repository. So GitHub is what? GitHub is basically a repository where you can store your application and do all this stuff. So it's a repository where millions and billions, GitHub is almost have millions of users and millions of repositories are there. Even to do, the first step is we have to create our account on GitHub repository. It is completely free, but obviously you can, like, your company can get a license of it, and basically it works in the same way, like you have a trial account in BTP and then you have a license account. So GitHub also you can have, like, not a trial account, I would say. It is also a good account, but it has like certain the storage limitation, like you can store only for like 20 GB or 30 GB. But if you have a corporate GitHub account, then definitely you can have unlimited access to it. Okay, so the steps would be what? Step would be set up your GitHub account. Okay, this is the first. Click on create an account. What it will ask? It will ask for me something called enter your email. Just type in your email, click on continue. Okay, type in your, so obviously it's validation failed. That's not my email. You just type your email, type your password, and then a passcode will basically an OTP will trigger to your email. Just verify it and you are good to go. Then what you need to do? You need to click on to do is missed. Okay, this is what we'll discuss tomorrow. No problem. Okay, so guys, this is it from my side for today. Okay, and tomorrow we'll start with the development of basically Node.js. Okay, because Node.js is a very important part of SAP Cloud Foundry, because the all authentication mechanism works via concept called app router, and app router itself is a Node.js application. So we should have basic understanding about Node.js. So tomorrow I'll be covering Node.js and also some of the important file which we need to which we need to set up so that we can basically route our application to the right microservices. Okay, and also also provide authentication to our application. So tomorrow we'll be starting with app router, and yeah, any question you guys have, you can ask.
Thanks for watching the video. Please hit the bell icon below.